The current expectation, the current tick-tock of this timeline is he goes down this street. Moments from now, that's expected to happen. He goes to his 757, which is waiting again on the tarmac of Palm Beach International Airport. He boards that airplane. That airplane takes him to New York. He's arraigned in court tomorrow in New York, and then he's expected to get right back on that plane, fly back here to Florida, and deliver remarks on Tuesday night to a room that's expected to have not just media covering it, but supporters. So what does he say in those remarks? How does he set this indictment into the larger conversation of the 2024 election? And what does he say to his core base of supporters demonstrated here by these people who are lining the street anticipating that motorcade to come by? What does he say to them in the broader political context, Diane? That is something to watch for.
And Jay, we're seeing the motorcade leave now. We've now seen at least, I'm going to say 5 or 6 SUVs leaving the property now, so they'll probably be passing you shortly. And for those of you just joining us,
Diane,
again, we're watching the motorcade here.
7 SUVs?
I saw a number. We just saw a number of SUVs
11.
leaving the property, so it certainly looks like the motorcade just left. And for those of you just joining us, we're watching the motorcade with President Trump expected to head from Mar-a-Lago to Palm Beach Airport, where he's expected to board his plane and head to New York City. He's expected to surrender to authorities tomorrow after being indicted. Jay, walk me through the significance here. We are watching for the first time here a former president heading to the airport to surrender authorities to become the first president in American history to be indicted.
Yeah, Diane, I'm going to take you a little bit closer to the street because, again, that motorcade expected to pass us any moment now. And my apologies for interrupting you, but I asked about the number of cars because I can tell you that is unusual. Since he has been a former president, it's been a motorcade. I've seen it myself personally, about 3 SUVs on occasion, sometimes 4. It was a larger motorcade when he immediately had left office, and it's dwindled to sometimes 3 or even 2 SUVs since then as he goes down this street often to play golf. So the number of cars being significant, because you asked me that question about security, it shows how unprecedented this moment is, how dense the security apparatus is around this moment. Again, as we wait on the side of Southern Boulevard here in West Palm Beach for that motorcade to pass us any moment. I can tell you what you're looking at behind me is just one small part of what is at least 3 blocks of Trump supporters who have gathered here. This has been a multi-day process, right? The indictment drops on Thursday night. We get here Friday, and we start to see if there are wide-scale demonstrations. And we didn't see many the day after the Trump indictment. So the question hung over this crowd and the city of West Palm Beach largely. Would there be big demonstrations of support from the former president's base as he faces down this indictment? And then, of course, today being the day that he would leave Florida and travel to New York for that arraignment tomorrow, we got our answer, which is that there is a wide-scale demonstration here. It is a number of Trump supporters. The people that I talked to say the biggest demonstration they've seen along this motorcade route in a long time. I even spoke with one woman who traveled all the way here from Tennessee, as she says, to voice her support for former President Trump. And the reason that's noteworthy is we also asked her what is her message to the other Republicans running in 2024, like Nikki Haley and potentially Ron DeSantis, the governor of this state. And her message to them was that this is Trump's party. She said it's even more Trump's party in the wake of this indictment. And she, as a staunch GOP voter, says she wants those other candidates to get out of the race, Diane.
And I want to go to Rachel Scott, who's also there in Palm Beach, Florida. Rachel, we just saw the motorcade leaving Mar-a-Lago, crossing over the bridge. I counted about a dozen vehicles there. This is, needless to say, a huge security operation as former President Trump heads to the airport there to eventually surrender to authorities in New York City.
Oh, definitely. And I can tell you that that motorcade actually just passed one of our producers who is a lot closer to Mar-a-Lago, just passed by her. So any minute now, we should see the former president in that motorcade passing along this street and among dozens of his supporters that have gathered here today as he makes this trip for a historic arraignment. I mean, this is something that we have truly never seen before. A former president turning himself over to authorities. The people that I've been speaking to here, much like Jay, said they wanted to come here to show their support. I just spoke to one woman who said there is nothing that the former president could be charged with that would change her support for him in 2024. So she says she wanted to come out here to send a message that she is standing with the former president during this time. Of course, there are big questions hanging over for the 2024 race. Donald Trump still does not know exactly what he is going to be charged with. Neither do his supporters or any of his potential rivals. So this certainly not only is historic, but it also shakes up the race during a 2024 presidential campaign election. I'm just going to take a look over my shoulder just to see if the motorcade is coming down yet. We don't have eyes on it just yet, but I can tell you some of the people that are here today, as you can see, they brought some flags. Some people are wearing shirts that say Donald Trump did nothing wrong. This is the type of support that the former president obviously was hoping for. The question is, does that ripple across the rest of the Republican Party? My producer is flagging me now. It looks like, here we go, right here. Former President of the United States, Donald Trump. This is his motorcade. This is the moment. You can see him slowing down here as he is passing his supporters that are lining the streets. The former president of the United States now on his way to the airport to go to New York City for a historic arraignment, doing something that no former president has ever done before, turning himself over to authorities. You can see he even has some of members of his team there hanging out of those vehicles, filming the show of support that is lining the streets. And now you hear his supporters shouting his name. This is not a political rally. This is not a political event. Again, this is happening as the former president is on his way to the airport to surrender to authorities. Diane.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.